Hey everybody, welcome back to Two Nerds and a Podcast. Today, I'm gonna call it the YouTube variety episode because I want to talk about YouTubers in general. And the main reason for that is because one of the kings of YouTube, Mr. Markiplier, came out with his debut full-length feature film, Iron Lung, as we're recording this past weekend. And actually, as you guys are listening to this past
Wait,
weekend.
it just came out?
It just came out. It came out
Oh,
in
okay.
theaters this weekend, and from the sounds of it, it's this weekend only.
What?
Um, yes. So, for anybody who's not like tuned into this whole Markiplier saga, just go to his YouTube channel. He explains, like, he keeps updating everybody, which I love, and he's the sweetest little bean. But so, Markiplier has been making this movie for 3 years. 3 whole
Damn.
years. He wrote it, directed it, and starred in it. And he funded the entire project. Yeah.
What?
He had a budget of $3 million.
My God.
Isn't
I
that
wish I had that
crazy?
budget.
Yeah. So, I mean, and he's done other, I would say they would be like technically short series. For YouTube, I believe specifically. I know there was, I think it's Mark in Space, and there was another one that I can't think of the title of. But this is his full. It's a full feature length film. It's a little over 2 hours, and if you like horror movies, if you're a fan of blood, there's a lot of blood.
Okay, so
Um,
okay, you have to
so
explain to me what the movie is about because I
okay,
genuinely don't know anything about this.
so Iron
I
Lung
knew he had a
is
movie, but
yes.
I don't know what it's about or anything like that.
So it's actually based on a video game called Iron Lung, a little indie video game. The video game itself is maybe like 40 minutes long. It's really short, it's very simple, and the premise is that you play the character you're playing, you are literally sealed inside of a little submarine because you're I don't it's been a while since I've watched Mark's playthrough, but so my knowledge of the game and the movie is kind of intertwined because I don't remember the game super well. But the premise is you're in a submarine, they send you down into a sea of blood, and you're like on the search for signs of life because all of the planets are dead and humans are racing to find somewhere where we can actually live. And so they
Mm.
send you down in this tiny submarine, which you're sealed in, and so you have to do very like it's just you by yourself and like 12 foot by 5 foot box, basically.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
disgusting.
yeah, and so and you have no windows, and the only thing that lets you see on the outside is you can hit the camera, and it'll take a picture of what is in front of you on the ship, and that's the only way you can see outside. And so the premise is you have to try and find something. And I don't even remember how the game ends, but the movie is the same thing. So Markiplier is the only, well, no, that's not true. He's the majority of the film is just him by himself. That's all you see on camera is just him. But he plays a character named Simon who at the beginning of the movie, all we know is that he is a criminal who committed an egregious crime against humanity, and he struck a deal with the uh I guess society that's he's living in, um that if he goes down in this submarine and he could, do whatever which they're asking him to basically map the ocean floor, um in hopes of finding something. And he's like, all right, bet if I do this, then I'm free. And they're like, if you do this, then your sentence will be lessened. And so he takes the deal. They seal him in a submarine, which I think is the crazy part. Seal him in a submarine, throw him into the ocean that's literally blood. So it's like thick and like it's just blood. It's really gross. And they were like, by the way, the ocean floor is not solid because it's not dirt, it's just congealed blood. So
Ew.
yeah, it's constantly shifting and moving. Um, and so they send him down, and he ends up coming across what looks to appear to be a skeleton, right? And he's taking pictures this entire time of the ocean floor and navigating and making a map and whatever. And he's like, I found some bones. And they were like, we're gonna, like, because he's basically, his little submarine is on a string, for lack of a better term. So they like yank him back up because they can see the picture he took. And they're like,
Mm.
okay, we're going to put this thing on the front of the boat, and you're going to have to ram into the skeleton so we can get a sample of it, right? So he does all of these things, blah, 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 except the skeleton moves. And they think, okay, well, it's probably because the ocean floor is not solid. I'm going to talk spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers, then move along. Turns out to be a giant scary sea monster. Like, you know, like the anglerfish with all the scary teeth? It's like that, but it's just, it looks like a skeleton. It's really creepy. It's so creepy. But it reminds me of, if you've ever seen the movie Oblivion with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner, where you get very little context in the beginning of the movie, and then as you move
Mm-hmm.
through it, they reveal more of the story. And so they, when they first sent Simon down, they're like, you are, he's like, you know, have you tested this before? What have others done before me? And they're like, you are the test. You are the first one we've done this with, which turns out to be a lie. He's not. He's actually the 13th person that they've sealed in a submarine and thrown into this ocean to find anything. So he ends up coming across a ship previous to him, and he kind of has this weird, like, out of body slash what feels like a holy experience. Like, he thinks maybe he's talking to like a god of some kind, or another person who is also trapped on the ocean floor. And so it's this weird, like, aliens trying to communicate. I don't know how to, like, there's such a hard way to explain this movie, but it's really neat. Like, I don't see the way he's done this movie in a lot of other movies. Like I said, if you watch the movie Oblivion, it's kind of the same thing where they give you this really weird timeline of how things work. Um, but it turns out, like, in the end, that, like, all of this struggle and everything, it's just the monster, like, fucking with him. This monster is like an alien who can, like, get into your head and, like, make you see things and feel things. Like, he keeps seeing like a shadow person in the submarine with him, which is creepy as heck because you're sealed in there,
Yeah.
the bottom of the ocean, and there should be nobody living on the walls, kind of situation. And then we kind of like find out like what his crimes are, which it turns out he wanted to stop whatever the plan was, and nobody else had the gall to stop it. They were just like, it is what it is now. And so he tried, but then all of his family and stuff died, and he was the only survivor. So he's got survivor's guilt on top of everything else. Um, but it's really cool. I am surprised it did not feel like it was 2 hours. It was a really good movie. If anybody, I don't know, maybe there'll be a miracle and they'll extend its stay in theaters. But I do know, because he's been working on this for 3 years, he's given up a lot of opportunities. It's why he wasn't in FNAF, because he
Oh,
couldn't he couldn't work around, like, the studios would not work around his schedule that he had for Iron Lung, and so that's why he wasn't in it.
now he
But,
should be
like,
in the next one.
oh, I hope so. That'd be great. Um, but he just, like, him and his now wife put so much, like, love into this movie, and you can definitely see it. Like, everything was so thought out and so detailed. And the beginning of it is like, it's a bit slow, and you're like, okay, and it definitely feels like a first movie of
Hmm.
a director, which it is. So you're just like, okay, it is what it is. But when you're sitting in that slowness, you're like, okay, when's it going to pick up? And then once it all starts getting very real and very, like, chaotic, you're like, okay, I don't I don't like this anymore. Can we go back? We need to slow down, please. And it just like speeds up until literally you smash into the ending. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta breathe. I gotta breathe. But it was so good. I was very happy to see the theaters packed. I think most,
Really?
yeah, it was actually kind of crazy because when I was originally buying a ticket, I was going to go by myself. And like the second it hit, I went to a Regal theater. Like the earlier shows in the day instantly filled up. And I'm like, oh, okay, so evening it is. Um, but it was kind of amazing because I guess originally, because he's got no studio backing him, so he's got no distributor, and so he had, I think, like a third party company, as far as I know, like say, we'll put it in a few theaters, put it in a few like little indie theaters that show indie films, and Mark was like, "Listen, I know this is kind of crazy, but I promise you, you're gonna need more theaters, or at the very least, more shows." And then the second, like, he announced that it was coming out, which it did what I assumed was a couple of indie theaters in LA, and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't want to drive into LA. It just, there's never parking at any of those theaters, and I hate it." But they were like, so he had that company started calling like Regal and Cinemark and AMC, and then fans started calling all of like the chain theaters and little indie theaters going, please, please show this movie, I want to come see it. And it got into, I feel like the last number I heard was like 2,300 theaters or something like that in the United States of America, Australia, New Zealand, and Europe.
Dang.
I'm like, that's crazy. Also, as of earlier this morning, I believe, uh, or no, yeah, earlier this morning, he was being, Iron Lung was only like point, like 1 million behind the new Sam Raimi movie, which I can't think of what it's called right now. But Friday and Saturday, Iron Lung was the number one movie in America. And I'm
Dang.
like, that's crazy. And I really hope he wins it for the weekend, because that's like a big deal, because then because then Disney will lose they'll have a 9-week streak with Avatar. They won't get that 10th week. And it just like goes to show that like indie movies, like especially when people have worked so hard to build such a good fan base, that people will come out for the movie.
Yeah.
Like the crazy part is, I was thinking about this earlier, is like Marvel used to have that kind of fan base. The second they announced a movie, when can I buy tickets? I don't even know what it's about, but when can I get my tickets? They don't have that anymore because unfortunately they just keep regurgitating the same story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what are we doing? And then the newest Marvel movie that we're all awaiting, Doomsday, is gonna be like 99% cameos, and I'm not sure how they're gonna pull that off. But suffice to say, I am so proud of Mark and everybody involved. You can tell it's a project of love, and there was definitely, obviously, blood, sweat, and tears. I know Mark had to get hospitalized at some point because he had too much fake blood. I think he got it in his eyes.
Oh my god.
And so he had to be in the hospital. But it's definitely really good. If you like horror movies, I would 100% recommend, if you're still able to see it, go see it. Um, but it was
They
so
better put
good.
it on a
I'm
streaming
so
service.
happy that Mark was able to do this. I know he's always wanted to make a movie, and it's kind of crazy to like self fund something like this, of this scale. But I was very happy that Mark got to make this. He's been so cute all over YouTube. He's been posting a lot of thank you videos and things like that. And it's, the fandom as a whole is just like, you deserve this. Like, you've
I
worked
hope
so
a
hard.
streaming service picks it up.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I kind of hope it gets a physical media release. I think that would be really cool. But also too, like, I feel like it should make studios look at indie movies a bit differently.
Hmm.
Like if you invest in the right people, then you get amazing movies like Iron Lung, and you get people who are passionate about it. And the one thing I do really love about, even before the movie came out, was all of the crew that was working on this movie had nothing but nice things to say about Mark, about Amy, about the way they ran their production. Like, I know catering was like top dog. Everybody was always fed and rested and like at their best. And, it was just like a very amazing time to be had by all, which is always really cool. Um, but yeah, and then it reminds me on a different scale, obviously. I've been subscribed to Amazing Phil and Dan is Not on Fire since 2012.
The Lovers.
The Lovers, they finally admitted they were together the whole time, which, yeah, colored me
The
surprised.
which the closet was a glass door there, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, like, but yeah, so I remember because they were the first YouTubers to do a world tour show, basically. And they had kind of this similar thing where, like, when they were trying to like book theaters and stuff, that theaters would be like, what is this for? Are people really gonna come? And they're like, yes, I swear the people will come. And they've done 3 tours together since then, and Dan has done his own solo one. So it's just like I know it's kind of like a weird, YouTube is still a weird thing, even though a lot of these YouTubers have been doing this job for like anywhere from
20 years.
10 to 15 years, like, minimum. It's just like the talent is there. Whereas, like, I feel like a lot of people, like, especially nowadays, they companies will hook on to people that have gone viral. And it's like, that's good for like a clickbaity thing, but it's not really a good investment most of the time. Because most of the time, it's like a one off thing. Like, they just happen to say the right thing at the right time, and that's it. There's no talent behind any of that. And then it all falls apart. But like, if you get somebody who's really been growing their audience and invest in them, and they're not a complete butthead, then you get amazing things out of them. Like, Mark is, I've heard nothing but good things about Mark from fans, from people who have worked from him, and he's just so genuine, in my opinion, in his YouTube videos. Like, nothing ever feels fake or forced.
He's a silly guy for
He
sure.
is just a silly guy with
The
a
Bite of 87.
oh, he is our Five Nights at Freddy's master. And he's just, I'm so glad that the world is finally looking at him like the way he deserves. Like,
True.
the people outside the community, I should say, his community in general. I've been subscribed to him, I want to say, since like 2013 or 14. I was late to the Markiplier party. I When I first got into YouTube, it was all British YouTubers. So you could tell what my algorithm is just like, here you go. And I'm like, okay. So anybody American was just like last on the list. But he's so sweet. I love that Markiplier's mom is always so supportive. We love Mama Plier. She's amazing.
Yes.
Um, and I was thinking about it today, like, the kind of big three, in my opinion, in gaming, which is PewDiePie, Markiplier, and Jacksepticeye. They really have
True.
like, yeah, they just have like, they got the good endings that they deserve. They all have beautiful girlfriends or wives. They all have great family lives. They all have they've had, their battles with health and things like that, and have come out of that. and they get to pursue their passions. So Mark got to make this movie. I know Jack's been doing a lot of stuff with like music, and then I think he is funding and producing, I think it's this horror short series, if I remember correctly. So that'll be interesting to see. And then like PewDiePie is living the ultimate goal of basically being like a part-time YouTuber and a full-time dad, which is really cool. I know he
Hmm.
helps like smaller creators and stuff like that. So like these guys who are just like silly goofy guys on the internet but are like just truly genuine and truly themselves, they won big, and I'm so proud of them. I have never met any of them, but I'm so proud.
Good job, Mark. Yay.
Mm.
What would you rate the movie?
Ooh, I would say probably a solid like, I would say like an 8.5 out of 10. Like, it's really really good. I would 100% watch it again. Um, it was again like
It's pretty
a
good for like a first movie though.
yeah, honestly, like sometimes when you see like people's first movies, you're like, and I'm, don't get me wrong, like if I'm going to compare that to like a Steven Spielberg movie of some kind, then yeah, they're not going to be, then the rating would maybe drop a little bit, but I think because I've been invested in Iron Lung the movie since he even threw it out there as something he wanted to do, I think that journey really helps like that rating for me because I'm just like, yes, I see where all the work went, and it's really cool to see, especially because we've been getting a lot of movies that aren't top tier. Like I enjoy a lot of movies still being made present day, but this movie is like I want everybody to see this movie. Whereas other movies I'm like, yeah, you can take it or leave it, whatever, but
Yeah.
like want you to see this movie. Like I even told my dad had asked me last night when I got home from the movies, how was the movie? And I was like, it was great. I even think he would like it because we again, if you watch the movie, I'm pretty sure it's Oblivion. Let me Google real quick. Arrival. I was a singular word. I knew it was. Arrival. It has Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner in it, and it has to do with aliens, and it's really cool. But it gave that same kind of vibe, and it's one of those movies that you don't like. Finding something of that same vibe is very hard, but it's like this really like cool, like eerie, like almost realistic encounter with alien kind of situation where it like
Hmm.
it oddly like makes sense, and you're just like, I could see this like being a real thing even though I know it's not. I also love too that like Iron Lung is based off of a very tiny indie game. Mark played it on his channel and was like, this would be kind of a cool movie, and Mark added so much story and background knowledge to the movie that the game didn't have, and like added, because the game again is only like 40 minutes or something like that, so he just added so much context to the story. And so it's like if you play the game and you're like, oh, I really wish I could have more of
He
this
did it.
world, he did it, and he did it very fabulously. I mean, the amount of work he put into this movie, and again doing it, self-funded. He hired all these people. He was in charge. He acted, directed, he edited it as well. And I'm like, oh man, like
Oh my god.
it takes a lot of like kind of switching your brain off to edit your own YouTube videos. I can't imagine editing a full-length feature film that starred me, because you just sit there and you pick apart, oh, I could have done that better. I should have done that better. I should have done that. But like you can tell they've meticulously planned out this whole movie.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's like missing anything. I mean, I definitely think there could have been maybe like little cuts here and there, but I'm not a director or an editor, so bah humbug to whatever my opinion is. But like it feels like a first movie, but also doesn't feel like a first movie. Like it's just, it's so good, and I would 100% go see it again. So I'm hoping,
I hope that I can see it sometime.
yeah, yeah, I'm hoping that the theater release will stay. I figured, like, if you're gonna put a movie in the theater, I kind of feel like you would want it at least for a week, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if it's gotten so much attention. Like, but yeah, it was really good. Um, and it's just like, it's one of those things that I love when YouTubers kind of break out of the YouTube space and like start doing quote unquote real people things.
Yeah.
um, it's kind of crazy. It's so crazy to see, and it was so cool. Like when the credits rolled, um, because obviously there wasn't thousands of people on this production, so they slowed the credits a bit so that you could read everybody's name. And he had mentioned, I mean, he had everybody and what they did, and special mentions and things like that. And then at the end, and he had pictures too in the credits. And then at the end, they had a picture of like him and Amy and Chica and Henry, sweet boy, may he rest in peace. um so it was really cool. You could tell like this was their big project, and they were so proud of it, and we as the fandom are proud of them as well.
Yay. Good job, Mark.
Yeah, but yeah, I love it. It was good. um let's see, what else. I don't even know what YouTubers you watch, Casey. Do you watch anybody dedicated anymore?
I haven't, honestly. I haven't been on YouTube much lately.
I miss Jenna Marbles. I miss
Yeah,
her
me too.
content. And rest in peace, Mr. Marbles. He was
Oh, rest in peace, Marbles.
17, something
Oh
crazy
my
like that.
god.
Little crusty
That's
dog.
crazy.
It is
I mean,
crazy.
Flash was old too. She was like 20 when she died,
But
so
cats usually, like, cats can live pretty long.
yeah.
Most
And
of the
she wasn't super
Chihuahuas do
crusty.
not. She was not. She was not crusty, but Chihuahuas usually, I mean, I know some of them can live pretty long, but usually small dogs don't live that long.
My friend, his Pomeranian was like 17, 18, and he had cancer. Yeah,
Wow.
him was an old man. I was like, damn, dude. And he was the cutest little Pomeranian I've ever seen in my entire life. I
Oh.
miss him.
Did you ever have a favorite YouTuber besides me?
Um, not really, no.
No?
I mean, maybe, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I was say I guess you were more reality TV and I was more YouTube.
Yeah, my parents watched a lot of TV, so I watched a lot of TV.
I can't ever get into reality TV because I just look at it and go, ugh. But like, it's one of those like guilty pleasure things that like when I come across like somebody explaining the TikTok tea, I'm just like, it's like part 24, and I'm like, oh, I gotta scroll all the way back to the beginning. Hold on, let me catch up. I've been watching a lot of this one YouTuber. Her name is Charlotte Dobre. She does a lot of like reading Reddit posts of like, "Am I the a hole?" Um, her wedding drama ones are my favorite, but I like the craziness that is real life. Sometimes I'm like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?"
Who's your favorite? Is that your favorite YouTuber?
My favorite YouTuber will forever and always be Daniel Howell, aka Dannison on Fire,
Hmm. Mhm.
forever. Um, but I feel like who I watch on a regular changes. Dan and Phil has kind of always been a constant. But like, who's another? Charlotte's videos, I will watch every single video she put. I found her like a couple years ago, so I feel like I am still new to the potato family. Um, and she has her own subreddit and everything now too, which I think is funny because I guess like other people of Reddit are really annoyed anytime like her subreddit pops up in certain things because they're like, "Why didn't you guys go away?" And I'm like, "Just let us have fun. Let us be." Who else do I watch on the regular? I don't know. I've realized I've unsubscribed from a lot of people that I used to watch religiously because their like lives changed, which is fine and normal, but I no longer enjoy their content. So I'm like,
Hmm.
but I'm usually also really bad at clearing out my subscriptions on everything, not just YouTube, but Instagram. Instagram, I've been unfollowing stuff slowly. I'm like, I don't care. I'll unfollow. I don't care. I'll unfollow.
True.
But yeah, because otherwise I feel like it's just. I also, too, I hate on Instagram in particular that, like, when you open up Instagram, that feed is so much ads. They're like, here's an ad. And I'm like, thanks, I'm not interested. And they're like, well, here's a post you might like. Okay, I'm not following that person. That's not what I'm here for. Like, I feel like the main homepage of Instagram is basically a For You page. And I'm like, then what's the discovery page for?
Yeah.
And I got really frustrated at Pinterest the other day. I was trying to had like a vision of a dress in my head, and I'm like, I need to like Pinterest that so that I can like see like what it would actually look like something similar. And so I like was typing in all of these search words, and it's like the entire like first 5 scrolls of my phone were all freaking listings for products. And I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't want to buy the dress. I love good old Pinterest where you would literally go for outfit inspiration, character design inspiration. Like it was like meant for people to post their art or post, pictures from Fashion Week or blah 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 and yada yada. And it's not that anymore. It's like, please buy this AI dress. And I'm like, I know that dress isn't real.
Yeah.
Also, that's not what I asked you. And like, you can, I was really hoping they could do like, because you can do, I've turned off all my AI settings in like every single app that I have, because I don't want to see anything AI. Get that away from me. But I was hoping that like they could have like an option where you could be like, please do not recommend buyable things to me. Like I'm on Pinterest to look at pretty pictures of various things. I'm not there to buy anything off of Pinterest. I don't think I've accidentally clicked ads on Pinterest, but I have never once bought anything off of Pinterest. I don't know
Yeah.
anybody
Same.
who has. Like off of Facebook ads, sure. Instagram ads, yeah. Pinterest ads, no. Also, Pinterest, like, for them being a creative space, have so much AI going around. I
Yeah.
remember, I think it was like, it's really like 4 or 5 months ago now. Um, for those of you who don't know, I am a huge Pedro Pascal fan. If you don't know that, you're super new to the podcast. Still welcome. Um, But there was these pictures that popped up on my Pinterest. And one of them looked like it was from a photo shoot. And I'm like, I've never seen this picture. So I pinned it. And then I got recommended some other ones. And I'm like, I have never seen any of these pictures. Which, listen, I haven't seen every single picture that exists of him, but I've seen a lot. Like, a lot. Like, most of the time, the pictures I haven't seen are the ones from, like, his youth, before he was super famous. And so I'm looking at these, I'm like, and then I found one and it had like a flower weirdly like floating by his head. And I'm like, this has to be a weirdly AI picture. And I don't know why it
Yeah.
would be an AI picture. It was. So I just kept like block, 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 block. And then I found out on Pinterest you can turn off anything that says it's AI anything. And I'm like, great. We're gonna be turning those off because I don't want to see any of that. And then they started circulating on Instagram, and the Pedro fandom was like, "Get that off of the internet!" Um, but yeah, so I just ads. There's too many ads everywhere, Casey. I know I sound
Yeah,
really
way too
old when I say
many.
that, but it's literally all ads now. Everything. Like Instagram was supposed to be to share pictures. Pinterest is there to like pin ideas like for creative projects, fashion design, stuff like that. And it's just like neither of them are that anymore. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's all ads and AI.
yeah. And then I think it's funny because anybody who's like over the age of like 55, they're like, "Oh, look at this really cool video." And I'm like, "That's an AI video." And they're like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
Yeah.
There is not going to be a pony hanging out with a pig like that. Like that's just not how it goes. It's not Charlotte's Web here. Um and it's just like sometimes the AI stuff, like it's one thing to use it to be like to make something I would say like that would be spooky because that's always interesting. But like when you're trying to like justify a truth with it, I'm like, no, please don't. It's also just not like a very enjoyable art style most of the time. It's very like loud and bright, and I'm like, this is really ugly to look at. Why are we looking at this? Ugh.
Yeah, no, I'm very tired of AI and ads.
The ads are just so bad. Oh my god! So we were sitting in the theater for Iron Lung. I went with two of my friends who are younger than me, and we were talking about ads because the when I went and saw FNAF 2, they played the same advertisements twice before they started the movie. And I'm like, why are we seeing them twice? I don't I don't need to be advertised the same thing twice. Yeah, I'm already locked in a dark room. You could just show it to me once and I'll probably remember. But we got a lot of commercials for like fixing your roof, and I think we got a dentist commercial, and like we got a lot of like adult, like boring adult commercials, and I was just like, is that because Mark's target audience is like 30 something year olds now?
True.
But it's just
True.
like, yeah, and I'm just like, we didn't have to see him twice though, so that's what matters. But the other one that irks me, somebody pointed it out on Instagram the other day, was when like you're at the movie theater and then they're advertising the movie theater to you.
Yeah. You're like, I'm
I'm
already
like,
here.
yeah, I'm like, bruh, already seated. What do you mean? Uh, but yeah, so if we could have like less ads, that'd be so great. And I also wonder, like, does advertising on this mass scale actually do anything for your business, or are you just throwing money down the drain for fun?
I don't know.
Because, like, I mean, people still find our podcast, and we very seldom post on social medias. So I'm just like,
True.
people still finding us. I did see the other day that I think we have 30 subscribers on YouTube now.
What?
Let me see. Let me double check. Pretty sure it was. Yeah, we have 30 subscribers.
Damn, dude, look at us go.
Yeah, thanks, YouTube. I don't remember how many we have on Spotify. Let me see. Let me see. I always like to look every once in a while. I rearranged the folders in my phone the other day, and now I'm
And
confused.
now you lost everything.
Yeah. We have 43 on Spotify.
What?
Yeah. So lots of cool things. This has been a very random podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. Is there anything you would like to talk about, Casey?
I need to see the movie ASAP.
Yes. Yes, I highly recommend if anybody is able to still see Iron Lung, go see Iron Lung. It's really good.
You heard her.
Yeah, so support indie films. Honestly, indie films a lot of times are really really good because they're very creative. It's like when you read like a random novel, a published novel from Barnes and Noble, and then I don't know, it might just be like a niche problem, but you read that and you're like, this is really boring and really drawn out. I'm gonna go back to reading my fan fiction because that's much more exciting. um, and sometimes I read fan fictions that I'm not even in the fandom for, but I'm like, you know what? Sounds interesting. Let's go. So definitely support smaller creators. A lot of times they have really neat ideas that you just never would have thought of. 10 out of
Yes.
10.
10 out of 10.
Um, but yeah. Anything else to add, Casey?
No, that's it for me. That's it, folks. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.